Appreciate you coming on the podcast. You were up in Detroit, as was I, but I didn't get to get in the back and speak to you. But one of the headlines that sort of came out of that, it seemed like to be the most prominent headline that people were talking about is, did you say that you were willing to vacate your title in order to pursue George St. Pierre at 185 pounds? Can you explain that for us?
Yeah, it's tough for me to even, be in a position where, that's an option right now, because every time I talk to Dana or start talking about George St. Pierre, no. It's crazy when everybody else can go down a weight class or go up a weight class and attempt to, secure a couple belts. Let Tyron Woodley start talking about it, and it gets shut down. It reminded me of my dad when I was younger. I used to be like, can I go outside? No. Can I have a fruit snack? No. Can I freaking go play basketball with a friend? No. Before I even opened my mouth, I felt like it was going to be no. But at the same token, every time something is needed for me, the expectation is for it to be yes, of course. 4 weeks notice, no problem. This opponent that's not going to draw any pay-per-view, I would love to. So I just going to, keep that in the back of my mind when some people start asking me some stuff.
Are you almost at this point by the UFC expected to be just remain at the welterweight division, like you said? Because there are a lot of fighters at your level and higher that are sort of jockeying whatever weight class it is, big money fights, whatever. Are they sort of hoping that you just stay put and, be a good UFC soldier for the remainder of your contract?
Yeah, they can't decide what weight class you compete in, though. How about all the guys that go on 3 fights losing streaks and switch weight classes, and we forget they even lost, or someone wants to go up to challenge for a new belt. I'm not trying to do what Conor did or people that are just challenging for a belt to say they have 2 belts and not planning on defending it. I'm planning on switching the weight class. If that's what it takes for me to fight George St. Pierre, who is supposed to be the greatest welterweight of all time, for me to go out there and submit that victory for my legacy, if it's worth me going up to a completely different weight class and competing in that weight class for more than just one fight, I'm willing to do it. I don't think George had many plans on competing in that weight for very many fights. I think he saw Michael Bisping was a good style matchup. Even Robert Whittaker is challenging, but still a decent matchup for him. He might knock those 2 fights out, and maybe a super fight with Conor or somebody else after that and be done. So I'm actually willing to compete in that weight, even though I'll be grossly undersized, outpowered by some of these guys. But I think mine is a strong muscle, man, and I've been using that the entire career.
Well, seeing you move up to middleweight to fight George St. Pierre at middleweight would be just about the most 2017 MMA thing I could think of. We've seen a lot of things take place in this sport this year that doesn't always make the most sense. I mean, if you guys are going to fight, why doesn't he come down to you? And quite frankly, I think that's what he wants to do. Like you just said, I don't think he wants to fight at 185 anymore. So
he doesn't want to come down to our weight class and start defending the belt with all these new guys. At one point, he was able to look down at all these guys. He was at the throne. He got to watch them compete against other people. He was fighting 2 or 3 times a year. And he was able to spectate and watch his opponents. He's been out of the sport so long. These guys are going to be new to him, new challenges, new threats, training, and just the science of the sport has evolved in a manner where, he can't just go out there and jab and take people down. Guys are going to be able to defend the shot. Guys like me, guys like Carl Usman, maybe some other wrestlers in the division, and then some guys are going to be punching hard. I'm going to be punching harder than he will be. You know what I mean? It's going to be very tough for him to implement some of the same game plan that he's done on other people. And I think he has to evaluate, do I really want to do this again? Do I want to make this run again? Didn't I already do this? Do I got to really prove myself again? No, let me just take and select fights that are going to be big fights, make a lot of money, and that's what I really want to do.
Yeah. So what do you think his plan is right now? You think he's trying to just freeze out the UFC, wait until they give up and they strip him of the title, they move on with the middleweight division, and then what? Fight Conor? Is that his plan?
Oh, for sure. What kind of injury did he have?
Colitis. It's a bowel. Yeah. It's like an inflammatory bowel disease that I think he needs to take pills in order to.
Nobody's going to question it. Nobody's going to check. Nobody's going to give him a freaking enema and make sure he's all right. So he can roll with that injury, and nobody's going to challenge it. At the end of the day, I'm not saying he's not injured, but he's not a silly guy. He's a very smart guy, very calculated, and I don't think he's going to defend that belt. That belt doesn't really mean as much to him. He just want to say that I was champ at welterweight, I was champ at middleweight. Michael Bisping was a perfect fight to come back on. A guy that didn't have a ton of power, durable, wasn't as clean of a striker as George was. Obviously George was able to take him down. He clipped him with the left hook based upon just studying tape and knowing that, he doesn't defend well on certain sides. So he was smart, man, and it was a good fight. Bisping, in my opinion, was having his great moments in the fight as well. But it was a safe fight to come back. You don't want to come back with a guy that's in a rhythm, guy that's hungry, guy that's been fighting the most active champion currently on the roster, 4 fights in 12 months, and better wrestler. Yeah, he had the highest takedown. I don't know if it was highest takedown rate or whatever the actual stat was, but I have the highest takedown defense in our sports history. So I'm like, does it make sense for him to fight me style-wise? I don't think so.
No, not if he doesn't have to, and not if he can.
He doesn't have to. Like, I don't think he's scared of me. I mean, he's faced everybody. He earns that. I don't think he's scared of me. Of course, I'm gonna say it so I can try to poke at his ego to make him step up and take the fight. But my honest and true opinion, no, I don't think he's scared of me. I don't think Nate Diaz is scared of me. I don't think Nick Diaz is scared of me. I think Bisping might be scared of me, but outside of those guys, I think they're just trying to make smart moves.
What I want to know is, I want to know, I mean, it's been a really, trying year for you in terms of finding opponents and calling people out, and fights aren't happening, and there's so many names have been attached with you and challengers, and then all of a sudden people come in and sort of, have their way with the division and because they're legends, etc. I mean, how frustrated are you right now?
I can complain, but also I got to recognize that I'm blessed. Got to recognize that I'm healthy, minus, the little injury that's pretty public. I'm in my right mind. I'm fighting. I'm a champion. A lot of people lost their belt in November. Maybe it wasn't guys willing for me to fight on that card, because the thing was all the current champions ended up losing their belt on that card. I defended my belt 3 times, fought 4 world title fights in 12 months. I've been super active on Fox. I got my own TMZ show, Hollywood Beatdown. I've been doing a lot of acting stuff, a lot of TV stuff, a lot of motivational speaking, and I got some new things coming up, my foundation, some books, and just, trying to brand myself in a different direction. So I can't complain about my life. My life is good. I have a good life. And then also everybody, so quickly to point out the things that are going wrong, I do want to sit and reflect on the things that are actually going right.
Yeah.
So with all of that said, is it official that you've made the decision to postpone the shoulder surgery? And if so,
I don't know yet. I don't feel rushed.
You don't know? Okay.
I mean, if it was an Nate Diaz situation, yeah, I would have definitely postponed it. If it's boo-boo the fool, probably not. It's not worth it. I'd rather, go and take care of it and get it done. And it also depends on the style matchup. I've had this situation before. I competed with it for a full year without actually being able to function normally. And I know which style matchups, that I will be able to, actually go out there and fight and feel pretty confident.
If you do do the surgery, what is the recovery time, and takes you out for how long?
I don't need a complete reconstruction. I got a slap tear, so I didn't fully tear it. They call it like a clock, so I didn't go from 12 to 12. I went from around 12 to 6. It's pretty severe. 12 to 7 o'clock, they typically say, man, go ahead and have the surgery. So I had 3 opinions. One guy was just not interested, so I didn't even use his opinion. I threw it out the window. One guy strongly suggested I did. Other guy strongly suggested I consider stem cell, PRP, and some other stuff first, or do the surgery, not for reconstruction, clean it up, tack it down, then inject PRP and stem cells on the way out.
Well, let me ask you this, because it does seem like there's some – obviously you need to figure out what you're going to do with the shoulder, and that will have a big impact on this. But, okay, so let me ask this one first. If George's plan was to win the middleweight championship and then, sit out, basically force the UFC's hand into stripping him, and now he's hoping for Conor McGregor, and this is all going to tie into what I'm going to ask you next. Do you think it works? Do you think Conor McGregor and George St. Pierre are going to fight each other in 2018?
It's hard to say with George, and George is good at getting us all pumped up, getting us excited, and then making us wait. So I don't know what his plan is. Like no contract. UFC is not going to make a contract. I've seen the contracts. They're not going to change George St. Pierre contract. Nor would George St. Pierre sign a contract that boxes him in and forces him to fight Robert Whitaker and Robert Whitaker only. You know why? It's a crazy sport. People fail drug tests. People get injured. People retire. People, we can't control with another opponent. So when they tell me that he has to fight Robert Whitaker, it's full of crap. Because why didn't Bisping have to fight Robert Whitaker? You know what I mean? Why didn't he have to fight him? So it tells me that whatever the fans deem to be exciting, what they'll be willing to pay for when we're talking pay-per-view, those are the fights that are going to happen to take place. So I don't buy that, man. I think it's BS. I don't think, he can't fight you because in his contract he has to fight middleweight. Okay, well, I'm telling you, let's keep the contract. God, I would hate for him to get sued. Let him fight me at middleweight. I'll give you a belt up. Here, you can have it back. Yeah. Let me fight for the belt. Let me go up to his weight class with no belt, meaning that if I lose, I'm no longer the champion in any division. So when you put that out there like that and the answer is still no, that tells me that, what, it's not going to happen.
So that's a perfect segue into my next question is what happens, how many times do you fight next year and who do you think those fights are against? Give us your best guess.
Hopefully it's 3 times next year. Hopefully, I shut a couple fools up real quick and then I get to a point where I'm in position. UFC, we don't have that many stars, man. They're looking around and searching. They're trying to force feed the stars, people that are, they feel like it's going to fit the mold. And at the end of the day, it's a volatile sport. It's 4-ounce gloves. These people take losses. They lose belts. And then you're stuck in the same position. Why not utilize a person that's doing the most by himself, definitely freaking fight in a certain way, looks a certain way, never failed a drug test, not giving you hell, and going out there and promoting himself and showing you that, hey, man, everybody else sees it. He's right underneath your roster right now. So with all that said, I think I'll fight 2 fights. Maybe they shuffle the deck because a lot of really pivotal matchups in the welterweight division. Maybe those fights pan out. A true number one that emerges. I'll fight 2 of those guys. And then by the end of the year, hopefully by November, Madison Square Garden or, the New Year's Eve card, I'm fighting a big name. I'm fighting somebody that's a fun fight, that's a legacy fight. And that'll be a good closeout for 2018.
Tyron, are you telling me that the $30 million Alistair Overeem fight is not going to happen?
You know what? After Ngannou, man, I might take that fight against Alistair for 15.
What weight class?
Man.
What weight class, man? Ooh. What weight class?
It don't even matter, man, because Ngannou took half his chin.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one to bounce back from for Overeem. That was a spectacular knockout. Which, by the way,
hopefully he takes his time and doesn't try to rush back in and redeem himself for pride and try to swipe that loss off with a win. Hopefully he really recognizes how severe concussions are and how they can be deadly if you don't take them serious.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Tyron, take care of that shoulder. We appreciate it. Stay out of the doghouse. I know that Dana White's telling you no a lot, but at least he's not mad at you, right? At the moment. At least